Hello everybody, this is Kyrix with another another episode of This Week in Kyrix. Today is Wednesday, July 19th of 2017. And I want to announce that despite having picked up the game when it came out at midnight on launch day, as of yesterday I have finally beaten Pokemon Moon. So that's a thing. That's actually taken up quite a bit of my time lately, Pokemon Moon, because, to put it bluntly, they just released... Now, for people who don't know anything about Pokemon, they have these giveaways frequently. Mystery gifts, they're called, where you basically sign in online and download usually a Pokemon, but sometimes something else, like, Mega Stones or something completely different. Well, there was a mystery gift that came about quite recently of a shiny Pokemon. Shiny Pokemon have alternate color palettes. In actuality, it's nothing special. Some of them look cool, some of them you can barely notice at all. But it's something that most people like. It's just a status thing like, hey, my Gyarados is red and not blue. Which is a thing, by the way. Red Gyarados was actually the first shiny reveal. You may possibly have gotten one sooner, but it's the first one that everyone knows about. Anyway, there's a Pokemon in Sun and Moon called Tapu Koko. And he is, I think it's considered a legendary, something like that. He's basically, if not a legendary, then one of those special Pokemon, you know? I consider it a legendary. Anyway, there are 4 Tapus. One is the god of each island. Tapu Koko, Tapu Lele, Tapu Bulu, and Tapu Fini. And they released a shiny Tapu Koko in, basically to celebrate the release of some card special they had going on. I don't know if it's everywhere or just in Japan, but we got one. Anyway, you can get 1 per game unless you restart the game. Well, I don't actively play Pokemon Moon, so my idea was I'll get one on Sun, I'll get one on Moon, and then I'll keep restarting my Moon and getting more. Well, I happened to look at my Moon save data and realize, hey, I've almost beaten the game here. Why not go a little bit further? And I beat the game. Now, in case you're wondering why I would care about beating the game, it's because there are certain Pokemon near or after the end of the game. Like the legendary Pokemon on the box, Lunala, is only available in like the last stretch of the game. So if I wanted to get Lunala, I have one, but I mean a battle-ready one that I trained specifically and all that fun shit. Then I would have to go and beat the game, basically. Likewise, all the Tapus are post-game. Matter of fact, you fight Tapu Koko immediately after the credits roll. Or maybe right before and the credits roll after. I think it's after. Well, no, it's during the party, so it's before the credits actually roll. So yeah. I wanted that, and I wanted the Ultra Beasts, which are special sub-legendary Pokemon that you can collect. There are 2 that are exclusive to each game. I have one that's just perfect for what I need. And 1 more exclusive to Sun that I need to get worked on? Really? But other than that, I'm sitting pretty on Ultra Beasts and such. But I wanted the Moon Ultra Beasts, you know. Let's start at 150 of these. And see where that leaves us. But yeah, I wanted all the Moon Ultra Beasts so that I could, you know, have them. And I haven't actually set about collecting them yet because I'm trying to prep something first. There's an ability Pokemon have called Synchronize. Not all of them, but some of them do. And their stats are controlled slightly by natures. Each nature has one stat that it increases by 10% and one that it decreases by 10%. And each stat has one that's neutral. Like, there's a neutral attack stat where it adds 10% attack and takes 10% attack away, you know? So if you don't want to fucking min-max, you can just get one of the neutral stats. But min-maxing is kind of the point of the game for competitive anyway. Alright, let's try 30 more. Fuck it, we'll go with 40. And if you have a Pokemon leading the party with Synchronize, there is a 50-50 shot that whatever Pokemon you encounter will have the same nature that they have. So I'm trying to breed a bunch of synchronized Pokemon whose sole purpose... Well, that was 40, huh? Okay. Let's get 20 more. Whose sole purpose is attracting Pokemon with the right nature for my Ultra Beasts and my Tapus and shit like that. I also found out, I think yesterday or today, that if you have a gift Pokemon, I'm up to like 200 now. Let's try... Oops, not that. 210. That sounds workable, right? 212. That seems reasonable. Okay, 212 somethings. Let's go with parsnips. They're easy. You know, unless I can actually afford 212 of something else. But, yeah, I'm basically trying to breed them so that when I go around to do the Ultra Beasts, I can get whatever one I want right off the bat. Let me just do some quick math here. Let's take 13, 7, 26 divided by, what did I say, 212? Ugh, anything 64 gold or less I can get 212 of. So that does give me some options to play with, but nothing really spectacular. But I don't need super spectacular right off the bat. Like I can get, well, I'm not gonna get beans, obviously. Could afford potatoes. Let's go with potatoes. Said what, 212? Hopefully this will leave me enough for a couple pizzas so I can water the little fuckers. Alrighty. Here's some potato seeds. Oh yeah, I've got enough for a couple pizzas. Give me pizzas. 5 pizzas, that will do. Give me 5 of your finest pizzas, good sir. So yeah, I'm planning to get all the Ultra Beasts, and I'll have several of most of them. There are 5 Ultra Beasts in total. Well, I'm sorry, there are 7 Ultra Beasts in total, 5 per game. So there's 5 in Moon, but there are more than 5 individuals. There are 5 different species, but there's 1 Nihilego, 2 Pheromosa, 3 Xurkitree, 4 Celesteela, and 1 Guzzlord. So I basically called Anubis. I'm like, hey, Anubis, you want some Ultra Beasts? He's like, yeah, I could probably use some Ultra Beasts. I'm like, cool. I'll hook you up once I get them. I'm still going to get 2 of the Tapus, and then I'm going to go through the process of training them and raising them and all that fun crap. But it's just, it's a start. It's an investment of my time and effort. But, let's just get these annoying ones out of the way first. God, I'm so glad. Well, that's the funny thing is, the very thing that makes these a pain to water, or not water, but set up, which is the sprinklers, is the same thing that makes them absolutely no effort at all to maintain. You know? So most of my work in this springtime thing will be done by these sprinklers. And as time goes on, I'll get more money and be able to, you know, make more sprinklers. And as I make more sprinklers, I can do less work and expand the fields and all that fun crap. But for the time being, I just go with what I have. And hope that I counted correctly. Which I almost certainly didn't, but I know I have some kind of spring seeds of varying types in the bin, just in case. But yeah, okay, so I am like 9 short, and he is closed. So let's dig out some shit here. These are rare seeds, that is something completely different. Here we go. Do I have any... Those are legitimately spring... Cauliflower, that's perfect. These are nice and expensive. And I think there's just enough of them. Just enough. That was so perfect. Everyone be proud of me. I had just enough stuff. So yeah, it seems the grand was 221. Oh, no, I missed one. I will have to put something in its place. It's gotta be some... Don't I have a coffee bean somewhere? I'm pretty sure I have a coffee bean. If I have a coffee bean, that's awesome. I do have a coffee bean. This fucker right here will make more coffee beans. Booyah. Coffee beans are both the best and worst thing, because they don't sell for much. But you get so damn many of them, and they're so easy to grow, you know? Because literally what I could do is plant this one coffee bean, and they sprout like every other day once they grow in. So by the end of spring, I would have a field of coffee plants. And the best part about all that is that they grow into summer as well. So I wouldn't have to do shit in the summertime. But the problem is, that would deny me blueberries, which is a fantastic money crop. I mean, if blueberries went into fall instead of into summer, then I would do that, you know. But they don't. I've been working on the Pokemans, trying to get my battling Pokedex up. Which is to say, I want as much of a combat-ready Pokemon version of everything that I can. Like, for example, I know full well Cosmog and Cosmo-M cannot battle. They are physically incapable of doing harm, unless you struggle. And there's very little I can do about that, you know? It's just how they're programmed. But nonetheless, I want everything else to have like a level 50, on probably a level 100 version, so that I can hyper train them and such. That's the beautiful thing, is since I've gotten more comfortable just grinding out shards to get bottle caps to do hyper training with, it's so much easier for me to breed. Because there are certain Pokemon, like I came up with a shiny Corsola. I got it in my head that I wanted to breed a Corsola. I don't know why I picked. I can't say next thing on the list because that implies there's a list, but no. The list is composed entirely of Pokemon I don't yet have. And I'm like, you know what? Let me make a Corsola. I've never fucked around and made a Corsola before. I mean, I've had them, but I've never really used one before. So, I trained a Corsola. Or at least I bred a Corsola. And one of them came out shiny, with only one perfect stat. So I had a choice. I could A, keep the Corsola and hyper train the stats to perfection, or B, just toss it in a pile somewhere and make a good Corsola. And I opted for A. Because it's only a matter of time and effort to get bottle caps. The math I came up with is, if I keep on it, and I really could just set an alarm to do it, I could get like a bottle cap, 1 to 4 bottle caps a week. Which is, each bottle cap is 1 stat trained to perfection. The actual effort comes in getting the Pokemon to level 100, which is the other requirement of hyper training, the annoying one. But hey, a level 100 Pokemon means that they're good for anything. Because there are battles that set your Pokemon to level 50, and there are battles that take your Pokemon up to level 100 if they are, you know. It's just battle as you are. Those don't pop up often, but when they do, it's nice to know, hey, I've got a level 100 Corsola, and she's ready to kick some ass. But there's a thing. Oh, shit, I need to check that tonight. Because this is getting recorded, like, really, really late in the day, like 10 o'clock or so. But midnight, I believe, is the rollover. I can start registering for the new event, the Weakness Cup, which is made up entirely of Pokemon with 5 or more weaknesses. And before I can really start doing that training, I need to see a list of what's available, you know. Like Tyranitar I know is on there, Tapu Bulu is on there, I'm actually going to use him. And there's a couple others, but apparently there's also a weird list of items that you can and can't use. So before I can even think of putting together a team, I need to see what I've got to work with, you know. I'm also extremely pissed that there are no electric-type Pokemon that fall into that category of 5 weaknesses. None. I looked at all of them. The best I can get is 4, and that's not enough. I mean, it's possible I missed one, but I don't think I did. And in a situation like that... Oh, it's going to rain tomorrow. That's great. In a situation like that, I just gotta, you know, put up with it, really. I've got to, what was I saying? I've got to make the best of what I've got. Now, several battlers I have weaknesses like that. Like, Tyranitar is on the list. I have a Tyranitar. He is a monster of a Tyranitar. Or is that the female? I know I have 2. One is, I think, a 6 IV female, and the other one, I think, is a 5 IV male. Maybe I'm confusing it with my Haxorus, which is entirely possible. Or I could, for example, try to breed a Hydreigon, which, ooh, that thing's a beast, but god, the weaknesses on it. Guzzlord, which has the same typing as Hydreigon, is another possibility. Tapu Bulu is one that I'm going to play because I kind of like how... I kind of like the build I have for him, which I stole. Not gonna lie, I stole that build. It's one of Verlus's builds. I like Verlus's builds. So soon. And Verlus has the unfortunate habit of attracting controversy. I don't know how much of it's deserved and how much of it isn't, but he, oh boy, he fucking soaks that shit up like a sponge. Part of it has to do with the fact that Smogon is a fairly popular Pokemon tournament setup, and he doesn't like it, and neither do I. I've never really liked Smogon at all. Oh fuck, that's a thing. Shit. Shit. Well, crap. That's gonna fucking put a damper on shit, isn't it? I didn't even think of that. But yeah, the problem with Smogon is Smogon claims to be competitive. And, you know, if you really want to be competitive, you can't do the shit they do. Smogon swings the ban hammer like it's the only tool they have. Anytime a new Pokemon comes out, it's literally just a matter of time before that fucking thing gets banned. Because Smogon doesn't know what competitive really means. They don't... Like, they've had bans, and keep in mind, this is all secondhand information, for things like, oh, it endangers the meta. No, it is the meta. As someone who plays HeroClix and knows what a meta is, you don't know what a fucking meta is, guys. When something takes over the entire community, it's not endangering the meta, it is the meta. That's what the meta is. The meta is the shit that everyone uses. That's what makes it the meta. you know? I mean, if nobody's fucking using it, it's not the meta now, is it? Okay. If I can rig up one more somehow. Now, let's see what I've got that I can sell, potentially. These can be sold. Definitely sell these. I've got some cauliflowers, that's pretty cool. I don't fucking know, really, that's the problem. I don't know what will and will not really sell, so I'll take all this shit with me. All of my clay, because I picked that up easy enough. Well, no, I'll leave the clay, I guess. Salmon berries are worthless. Literally worthless. As in, without worth. Take the holly, take this. Take a clam. A couple of these. Take the potato. Take the egg. Take the calamari. Take the burger. Take the bun. What am I shooting for here? I am shooting for 1 gold bar. Just 1. That's all I need, which means I need 5 little nuggets. 5 little nuggets of awesome. Yes, I contain no nuggets at this time. That's a thing. But yeah, the problem with Smogun is, whenever something new comes on, if it's really powerful, they ban it immediately without bothering to see if it can be beaten. And that frustrates the shit out of me. And that's not how competitive shit works. When you want to be competitive, you have to compete, you know? You have to be able to fucking go in and say, hey, I'm a really good player, so this doesn't bother me, you know, that kind of shit. Sell the coffee beans too, because it doesn't really matter at that point. Right, we will take a look at how much more I need here. Yeah, it's like I said, it's frustrating to me, and it's frustrating to a lot of people, the fact that they... If you want to have your own Pokemon tournament, that's fine. But you cannot ban everything strong in the game and then claim to be, oh, we're the competitive. No, I'm sorry. They have something called Sleep Clause, which is really stupid. The concept behind Sleep Clause sounds good on paper until you factor in competitive, which is the idea that you cannot have more than one opponent's Pokemon asleep. Like, if I use Sleep... Let's say I toss Breloom out there, and I use Spore on one Pokemon. If they switch out, I can't use Spore again. Although I do think it's legal if they hit me and Effect Spore puts them to sleep, which is a passive thing. But that's stupid. I'm sorry, sleep is a viable strategy. You don't like being put to sleep? Get a Pokemon with Vital Spirit or Insomnia. Abilities that prevent sleep. Funny that. There's a way around that shit. Another thing, Evasion Clause. You cannot do anything that lowers evasion, or rather that raises evasion, or lowers accuracy. Because people get frustrated when they miss. Yeah, except there's this really neat move called Swift, or Smart Strike, or Feint Attack? What I'm getting is literally every type in the game has a version of a move with infinite accuracy. I say infinite accuracy, not 100 accuracy, because a 100 accuracy move can actually miss. What I mean by infinite accuracy is no matter what, This move will not miss if it is physically possible to hit the target. Like, there are moves like Dig and Fly, which take you off the screen. Except, to be perfectly honest, Dig and Fly, you can still hit them. So I guess that is a bad example. But you know what I mean. It's just, if you can hit them, Swift will. Smart Strike will. You know? Unless it requires a special move specifically to hit them, like Dig can be struck by Earthquake, Fly can be struck by Sky Uppercut, you know? So there's no reason for evasion clause to exist. You don't like when your opponent evades? Get Swift. If you're worried that they're going to do that with a ghost, like, Drift Limb, then get Smart Strike or something like that, or, fucking Aerial Ace. One of those moves that never misses? You know, that exists for a goddamn reason? Fancy that, they came up with a way around their own mechanics. I mean, who can imagine that a company with a game that involves combat would find any way to balance said combat? Mega Kangaskhan's banned, it's too powerful. No, it's not, I fucking beat them a lot. Oh, granted, they'll fuck me up, but so will a lot of Pokemon. You know? I got fucked up by fucking something as simple as Substitute. Until I, rather than just rage quit every time someone used Substitute, I did the adult thing, the competitive thing, and figured out, okay, what's the workaround to Substitute? The workaround is an ability called Infiltrator that says, fuck your Substitute, I'm punching you in the dick. And that's what I did. I have Noivern and Noibat with Infiltrator, so that Substitute isn't a thing anymore. Another thing they did that sounds good on paper. They have a tier system. Not tier as in crying, although they do a lot of that. No, tier as in floors, levels, layers. And that's a good idea on paper, the idea that, oh, a Pokemon that's too powerful shouldn't have to fight things below it, you know? Like, oh, I'm using Charmander, I shouldn't have to fight Blastoise. Except here's the problem. The tier system has nothing to do with how powerful a Pokemon is, and everything to do with how popular. Underused, overused, never used. Those are the fucking tier systems. And then the Ubers, which are just, hey, these are fucking banned because they're too strong, which is pretty much all the legendaries, almost all the megas, a lot of other good Pokemon, just because one person gets a bug up their ass and gets their friends to vote on it. Because that's how it is. It's a vote. But only specific people. But no, here's the thing. You want to make a tier system, that's fine. Here's a tier for you. Let's call it, let's even keep your... Let's keep something like, okay, your Uber tier is anything with a base stat total of 700 or higher. Okay? 600 to 699 is another tier. 500 to 599, etc. Just every 100 points of stat total is a new tier. That's fair. You know? Because then, at least theoretically, you're fighting things in your own goddamn tier. Though, as the Ultra Beast will show, you can have super legendary stats and not be a super legendary Pokemon. Because the Ultra Beast min-max like fucking crazy. Okay, here we go. Ah, it's down here. That's what I'm looking for. I'm like, where does this one go? But I got it. Man, this thing's gonna be a mess. I can't wait till I can get a bunch of Iridium sprinklers. But it'll be quite some time before that's a reality for me. Alright, let's dip down here and see if my strategy worked. Oh, that's right, it rained. So it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if my strategy would have worked, because it's raining today. Oh, I know how bread works. That's wonderful. I don't know where the fuck that voice came from, but I have it now. Yay! Look at all the rain. Look at all the shit I don't have to do today. Yay. Okay, oh, actually, I think these used to be reversed. No? Come to think what they weren't. Alright, anyway. Like I said, there's... I have no problem with them wanting to create their own community. That's fine. That's perfect. I mean, hell, I'm part of a local Pokemon League that's basically its own community, you know? We have our own way of doing shit, and that's perfectly fine. But you can't set up really stupid rules and expect to be taken seriously as the competitive guys. Because that's the problem with the competitive guys, is once you get to a certain level of competition, shit gets broken. That's why I don't play at the upper levels of HeroClix. I could, but I don't, because I don't have the mindset and I don't physically enjoy it. I play local level shit. But you don't get me in regionals or worlds. I did regionals once. And that was just a horrible experience for me all around. So I'll never do it again, probably. Because first off, it was 300 points. I was originally sold on the idea of being told that it would be 400, which is a much more comfortable point value for me. But 300 has a whole different way of working than 400 does. And I don't understand that way of working, so I'm just not suited for it. You know? I'm not saying that it's bullshit or this needs to be banned. Matter of fact, it's very rare when you tell me something in HeroClix and I'm like, wow, they need to fix that. But it's been happening more lately, and I'm not happy with it. I've several times considered leaving Clix. Matter of fact, half our players right now have considered leaving Clix for various reasons. Usually having to do with just the sheer number of product we're buried under. That actually came up at yesterday's tournament, which I went to. One of the guys was like, man, they need to slow it back down, because they just released 3 sets at once. That is the Wonder Woman movie set. Okay, Wonder Woman just came out, that's fine. Elseworlds and What If. Well, the problem is those are 15th year anniversaries of HeroClix, so... On the one hand, I can see it. On the other hand, goddamn, that's a lot of product. And the other thing is, at least with this one, they got smart, because this is supposed to be an event thing, as opposed to DC and Marvel 10th, which were just little gravity feeds, like I thought they would be. But no, they're full booster sets. But they're supposed to be, like, the summer event kind of thing. But WizKids at least wised up and said, okay, you have to buy them like this, but do what you want with them. If you want to sell them, sell them. If you want to keep them for events, keep them for events. I am thoroughly unimpressed with What If, and I am not the only one. Because the problem is... okay, one of the complaints that almost everyone about HeroClix has had, I have not, but almost everyone else has, to the point where I can literally count on a fucking D4 how many people do not complain about this, is they're sick of seeing the same characters, like Avengers. And I'm guilty of the same characters thing, just not the Avengers. Like, oh, I don't want any more Avengers. Let's not have any new Avengers for like 3 years. And I'm like, no. Give us Avengers. Just stop printing Cap, Thor, and Iron Man. Because here's the thing. Thor has a very limited power set. There's very few ways to do Thor without just fucking reprinting him, which is basically what they've done every time. It's just, here's the new Thor. He's either really stupid, or he's overpowered, or he just does exactly what the other ones do. And it's frustrating to have to go through that kind of shit, you know? And then you've got the Hulk, who has had a couple variations, but for the most part, he's pretty consistent. Captain America, there's only so many ways you can do him, and they've done him. And Iron Man, here's the problem. Iron Man has just the most variation of just about any superhero, just because he constantly upgrades his armor and shit. But very rarely do we get those other Iron Mans. Like, we don't get the submarine Iron Man. We don't get the spacesuit Iron Man. We very rarely have the Hulkbuster Iron Man. I think they've made him 2, maybe 3 times ever. One was a super rare, and one was a fucking build-it figure, which thankfully they've never done again because that was a stupid goddamn idea. But no, we always get like, oh, here's the classic gold and red Iron Man. A couple times we've got, here's the gold suit, first, like, fucking second armor ever Iron Man, or here's the gray suit in the cave Iron Man. That's fine. You know, that's some variation. But it's just, we keep getting them. Well, here's the problem with What If. What If was primarily 3 fucking characters done over and over again. In almost every combination possible. Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Punisher. Like, just at the table I was at, I saw Iron Punisher, which is Iron Man as Frank Castle or something like that. I saw Dr. Stark, which was fucking Tony Stark as the Sorcerer Supreme of Earth. And then there's a fucking Punisher Doc Strange, and Punisher as the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., and fucking Doc Strange in tech, and it's just... No, I'm sorry. We don't... If we have that many Punishers in a set, they need to be morph figures, and it's just weapon swaps. And we got that in the previous Marvel set, so we don't need it again so soon. It's just... There's no variety of it. And there's a couple different Spider-Men and so on, but it's mostly those characters. The only characters I cared about were that they reprinted the Runaways. Specifically, the superhero versions of the Runaways, which only ever appeared in a What If comic and in an alternate future. Because the Runaways never did the hero thing. They tried to. Like, they all... Little known fact, they all actually have code names. Like, matter of fact... Old Lace, the Raptor, is a holdover from when they had code names. Like Nico was Sister Grimm. I forget what Alex was. Alex might have been after this. Chase Stein was Talkback. Carolina Dean was Lucy in the Sky. Molly Hayes actually had 2 code names. The one she chose was Princess Powerful. Everyone else just called her Bruiser. And Gertrude York's was Arsenic, and the dinosaur was Old Lace. And they dropped those within, like, 2 issues. They're like, no, this is stupid, we're not doing this. And I don't think they ever really called each other by that. Maybe it happened in one comic. But, yeah, it was just kind of weird. I need a better sword. This is getting stupid. This is so frustrating because normally I have a better sword by now. And things like this little fucker are nothing to me. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna stab him 5 times. But no, I'm doing 1 to 4 per thing. And it's hurting my being as a person. Yeah, it's... basically, I want the Runaways. And... the judge, I told the judge, I'm like, hey, here's the deal. I want to be part of these What If tournaments. I have no money, and they're all drafts, right? I don't normally like to borrow boosters, because I have a stupidly high tendency to pull super rares. Like, 4 out of every 5 tournaments, I will pull a goddamn super rare. And I don't want to pull a figure that I don't get to keep. So I told him, like, here's the deal. Let me play with your boosters. And if I pull the Runaways, I get to keep them. Including the super rare. And I told him, I'm like, look, here's what's going to happen is... your odds of getting... my odds of pulling the 1 super rare that's actually one of the Runaways are low compared to my odds of pulling you other super rares. And he's like, sure. And I didn't actually make that week because that was... I thought we were switching to Wednesdays, but that was next week that we're switching to Wednesdays. So what happened was I was hosting a Pokemon tournament a day and I didn't go. But I showed up yesterday and he had all of the Runaways except for the super rare extra. Well, he has an extra of the super rare, but he told me I'm not going to give her to you, but I'll sell her to you for $10 and she's normally going for 15. So whenever I get $10 of disposable income, she's mine. But I have both the rares and all the other fun shit. You know, so that's cool. So yeah, I'm not sold on this set. It's partly a money thing, but I am so close to just flat out... There we go. The range is garbage, but it's gotta be better than what I'm using. It's really not. It's really not any better than what I'm using. That's horrible. That upsets me. But yeah, it's partly a money thing. It's partly a distance thing, in the fact that I have to, once a week, ride my bike 8 miles up there, and then 8 miles back home. And it's summertime. And for a while, it was so bad that I was going to skip it altogether just because of the heat. Plus, there's the fact that in Florida, summer is the rainy season. And when I say rainy season, I mean like monsoon. Like everyday thunderstorms. Heavy thunderstorms. You're fucking kidding me. Piece of shit's taking more damage from the fucking pick than the sword. It's bullshit. Alright, let's see how he likes the dagger. I'm gonna shank the fuck out of you. I'm gonna do it. Stab, 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 stab. Dagger. Or not dagger, but pickaxe. I'm almost better off letting him just hit me. And getting rid of him for a couple seconds. But yeah, each swing of this pickaxe is worth 2 of the sword. That's really stupid. I mean, I'm aware that a pickaxe can be a deadly weapon. I've seen My Bloody Valentine, but goddamn, really? The improvised tool is more lethal than the actual killing implements. I don't even know why I bother half the time. Alright, we're going upstairs. Fuck this. We're done. Scratch for a second there. So yeah, I mean, it's... If I can get a job soon, then there's every chance that I will stay in HeroClix, but, oh, there's so much going on, like... Just, they're coming up with... I don't think it's stupid figures, it's the fact that they're coming up with broken figures. Like, figures that, when you have them, you just win. And that, in itself, isn't necessarily bad. What is bad is that they are convention-exclusive figures. That you either have to win, or you have to buy. And I don't mean, like, buy them from people who won them. I mean, like, oh, I'm going to go to the convention and spend $40 to get this Superman. No. No, that's really pay-to-play. And yes, I know it's a fucking miniatures game, but miniatures games aren't that kind of pay-to-play. Or at least they shouldn't be. And it bothers me when they are. You know? HeroClix should not be pay-to-play beyond the simple thing of buy booster, get good figure, win game, you know? And it's getting to the point where it is going beyond that, and I don't fucking like it. And this is someone who's been in it more or less from the ground floor. I played the very first sets. I left partway through it, but that wasn't necessarily my fault. My mother had been taking me to the tournaments, and she had a heart attack and couldn't drive me anymore for a long time. You know? Okay, so I'm trying to remember here. Let's see. Let me just do some quick math here. I'm trying to remember if I do 3 days or 4. I think I do 4. Well, we're gonna do 4. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we do 4. Okay. All right. I lost the train for a second there. Ooh, mine. Let's go with the ore. That's amazing. I can make gems. I can literally make them later in the game. I can do it for free with one thing. Alright, I'm running out of shit to bitch about right now, so this is just going to be a real quickie. Plus, I gotta hit the bathroom. So we're going to, right quick, go through here. Water all the potatoes. The potatoes. Once those are watered, we're going to save the game, go to bed, and I'm going to run screaming into the bathroom. Not really, because that'll disturb the roommates. But you get the idea. You know, part of me considered going down there and watering in between the sprinklers, and then I remembered, I don't have to do that, that's the whole point of the sprinklers. And it is. That is the whole point of the sprinklers. And they're working, that's good. It means the bottom half of that isn't my problem anymore. But yeah, I don't know if I discussed this before in a Harvest Moon update, fucking Stardew Valley update, but this will almost certainly be the last year that I do this as This Week in Kyrix. Come 2018, I'm likely going to switch over to things like Super Amazing Wagon Adventure, fucking Dead Pixels, Death Road to Canada, little mini games like that, without real continuity to them. Which is both sad and appropriate, you know. But yeah, I mean, I haven't done much this week beyond work on Pokemon and futz with my finances, which there's really no word on that yet, even, so, I mean, you're not missing anything. I do actually have to go to Social Security tomorrow to get that dealt with, hopefully. We'll see. Worst case scenario, I'll get some reading done. We'll see how and where this ends. Hopefully in a good place. And then, possibly tomorrow, I also have to go to this career office and see if they can help me get a job. I was supposed to do it Monday, but there was a thing involving a college student. Nothing major. It was a thing that I agreed to back in March. They just got around to. It was a sales pitch I had to sit through that she was doing for credit for school. No big deal. Then, but I had to wait all day for that. Tuesday I had my HeroClix tournament. I didn't get up till really late. Today I had Social Security to deal with. Tomorrow I also have to deal with. But anyway, that's enough for now. I will see you all next week, hopefully with more exciting things to talk about. Bye-bye, everybody.